What is up, guys? Your boy Zach here, aka That Bio Dude, coming at you with the coolest, most informative, and funniest AP biology videos that you will find on the interweb. This is lecture number 2, and today I'll be talking about circulation and cardiovascular systems. So this chapter will discusses that many animals have a cardiovascular system in which the heart pumps blood about the body to all organs, and we will begin this video by examining transport in invertebrates. So some invertebrates, such as sponges and flatworms, do not have a circulatory system. Instead, they use fluids such as coelomic fluid for transport purposes. Most animals do have a circulatory system that transports oxygen and nutrients to cells, and there are only two types of circulatory fluids: blood and hemolymph, which is a mixture of blood and tissue fluid. So there's open and versus closed circulatory system. An open circulatory system where hemolymph is found consists of blood vessels plus open spaces, and you can see that on the left side. Example of that is in a grasshopper. So you can see down here on the bottom you have the pump, which pumps out that hemolymph, but it's open right here, and that's why it's called an open circulatory system. A closed circulatory system where blood is found. Blood is pumped by the heart through veins and arteries, and even worms have a closed circulatory system where they have the pump here, but it's closed down here, which allows the blood to circulate around the circle. So then there's transport in vertebrates. All vertebrates have closed circulatory systems, 3 kinds of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries are thick walls which carry blood from the heart. Veins are thin walls carry blood to the heart, and capillaries are extremely narrow, which allow exchange of nutrients. So the human heart, and I'm just on the left side there I have the pathway of blood through the human heart, and I'll talk about that, and then I'll go through it on the picture. You start in the superior and inferior vena cava, and starts in the inferior vena cava right here, comes into the heart. This goes into the right atrium, and then through this little tiny valve right here, which is called the tricuspid valve, into the right ventricle. The ventricles are what pumps blood, and that'll pump that up out through the pulmonary trunk into the right pulmonary artery, and then into the lungs where it will get oxygen. So you can see it goes up through the pulmonary artery, gets the oxygen right here, and then now it's red because it's oxygenized. It'll come from the lungs, from the pulmonary veins, into the left atrium, into the little valve right there called the bicuspid valve, into the left ventricle, which that then pumps into through the aortic semilunar valve into the aorta. And this comes down into different parts of the body, such as the digestive tract, liver, kidneys, trunk, and legs, and then starts all over again and comes back through the vena cava, and you get the cycle right there. And then there are cardiovascular diseases that come with this. CVD is the leading cause of untimely death in Western countries. Hypertension, 20% of Americans suffer from this, aka high blood pressure. Atherosclerosis, which is fatty materials, cholesterol found in lining of arteries, can lead to clotting. Stroke is a small cranial arterioly burst or is blocked by an embolus. And then heart attack is when the coronary artery becomes completely blocked. What's in blood? Blood is composed of 3 formed elements in plasma. There are also platelets, which are fragments of certain large cells. And so here on the left and right in this picture, on the left we have plasma, and on the right we have these formed elements. Plasma can take up to 55% of blood, and the different types of plasma, 99% of plasma is water, and this maintains blood volume, transports molecules. There's plasma proteins, which take up almost the rest of it, 78% of the plasma. This maintains the blood osmotic pressure and pH, transports, fights infections, and stops blood clotting. Salt, which is less than 1%, maintain blood osmotic pressure and pH and aid in metabolism. And then there's gases, nutrients, waste, and hormones. Gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide, which are important in cellular respiration. Nutrients such as lipids, glucose, amino acid, which are food for the cells. Waste, which is urea and uric acid, which are end product of metabolism, which are excreted by kidneys. And then, of course, hormones, which aid metabolism. And on the right, we have the formed elements: RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. The red blood cells, aka erythrocytes. There's 4 to 6 million of them in your body. They transport oxygen and help transport carbon dioxide. White blood cells, aka leukocytes, there's 5 different types of those. Neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. Neutrophils being the most common, and then lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils follow that. And these are very important in fighting infection. You'll have anywhere from 5,000 to 11,000 of these in your body. And then platelets, which aid in clotting, and you'll have a pretty large number of those, 150,000 to 300,000. Capillary exchange. Blood that enters a capillary at the arterial end is rich in oxygen and nutrients. Osmotic pressure and blood pressure control the movement of fluid through the capillary wall. Midway through the capillary, the forces cancel out and the nutrients diffuse by their concentration gradient. At the venule end of the fluid that left the capillary is where it returns to it. And not all capillary beds open at all times. When you're warm, capillaries that serve the skin are open to cool you. And then when you're cold, skin capillaries close, which conserve heat. And we kind of talked about this in the last video with homeostasis. And then blood types. There are 4 blood types. A, B, and O. And each different blood type has a different antigen and antibody on them. Well, not all of them do, but most of them do. I'll get to that in a little bit. And antigens are a toxin or other foreign substance that induces an immune system response in the body, especially the production of antibodies. And then an antibody, which is a large Y-shaped protein that are recruited by the immune system to identify and neutralize foreign objects like bacteria and viruses. And so if you look at like blood type A has antigen RBC would be A, and then the antibody in the plasma would be anti-B. Blood type B has the B antigen and the anti-A antibody. AB has the A and B antigen but has no antibody, and then O has no antigen but has both anti-A and anti-B. And then also the RH system, 85% of people are RH positive and the other 15% are RH negative. And this can cause issues when it comes to pregnancy. If a mother and her child are not the same RH, hemolytic disease is the result of this and it can be fatal. So this is when the mom's going to need to get a shot so that the baby can survive during birth. And fun fact of the day, I am blood type AB RH negative, which is actually rare, which I thought was pretty cool. And I think this is it. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. See you later.